Sports, a part of the British Sky Broadcasting Network.
This week on NHRA Today, a visit to the first annual California Hot Rod Reunion, featuring the slickest of the street rods cruising the quarter mile. Restored racers provide a dose of nitro nostalgia, and legends are honored for lifetime achievements. From Bakersfield, California, it's a half hour of motorsports memories on this edition of NHRA Today.
Friday and Saturday night.
Saturday night, this Saturday night.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Saturday and Sunday.
For a lot of drag racing fans, that was the call which sent many baby boomers on their first trip to the drags. To many other of today's enthusiasts, the only link to the past has been through these vintage films. But all that changed for at least one weekend in Bakersfield, California, as an overflow crowd, no matter what their ages, went back in time, a time when drag racing was young. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of NHRA Today. I'm Steve Evans, and as you can tell, I'm excited. We come to you from Bakersfield, California, the site of the first ever California Hot Rod Reunion. Over 16 months in the planning, and this event has exceeded everyone's wildest expectations. Look at this. They call this the cruise down the drag strip. But we're going to do more than just cruise today. In the next half hour, you'll meet a lot of the stars of the past and even see some of the famous old machinery-making exhibition runs down the famous Famosa Quarter Mile. I'm not the only one having a good time, as you'll hear.
This is really nice to see it all together in one place, see all the cars, having a place to drive around. It's great. A lot of old friends being made all over again.
It warmed my heart to see that old rivals who wouldn't even talk to one another are now sharing stories about how they raced one another, and of course there's always a dispute as to who won the most.
I love it. I came out from Denver, and I've been looking forward to it all year.
For Bakersfield Chief starter Rick Stewart, a veteran of many wins at this famed facility, this race really meant something special.
I've never seen this picture before. A photographer that I know from Seattle came up and gave me these three pictures, and this one's really special. It's a picture of the car at Lyons Drag Strip in about 1967 would be my guess. And my partner Bill Crossley's in the background and got the wheels in the air and just starting to light the tires, and we're on a qualifying pass.
Our reunion organizers left no stone unturned, as every effort was made to bring back memories of the early days of drag racing. Some of the NHRA officials wore a copy of the uniform worn at the 1955 Great Bend race. A replica of the Famosa drag strip timing tower was built by veteran sportsman racer Al Brown, complete with an early NHRA logo. Two people are really responsible for the organization of this reunion. Retired, right, NHRA exec Bernie Partridge and his wife Phyllis. And Bernie, this is different than trying to plan a race. There's a lot of other facets.
Well, there certainly is. If you don't know how many people are coming to your party, it's pretty hard to plan for them. We had big struggle with the tent, for example. We thought maybe 1,000 people might show up, maybe, and the tent's been growing and growing ever since. So it's been real tough trying to put the thing together, but it's also been a lot of fun. I race PJ almost every day out to the mailbox to see who sent in their latest entry.
You guys have well over a year invested in this.
Oh, yes. 1 year. 1 year ago, they came up with the idea to do this thing.
Well, PJ, there were some naysayers. Who wants to go to a hot rod reunion? Wow.
Wow, you're right. This has turned out to be the event of the century, I think. We don't know what to call it other than just, hey, this is a grand reunion.
I want to thank you for creating this unique pass here. It helped me recognize a lot of old friends that maybe put on a little weight and grew a beard.
It was truly our pleasure.
You know, building street rods is as popular today as it ever has been. Only the current crop are primarily highly stylized fiberglass cars with a lot of expensive billet components. Here at Bakersfield, the stars of the Street Hot Rod Show are the old-fashioned breed, solid steel bodies based on early Ford and Chevrolet components. There's a bunch of beauties. More than 200 cars participated in the Cruisin' Parade, producing one of the most historic lineups of street rods and muscle cars ever put together anywhere. The rodders came from all over the country to be part of this affair.
We put on maybe 12, 13, 14,000 miles a year in it, just making all the meets and running around with old friends. And there's quite a few of us that travel together. In fact, all these cars right along here, we're all kind of a group. We get together and meet. We're all from Northern California.
Some of these vintage cars literally came back from the dead with the help of some tender, loving care and hard work put in by these enthusiasts.
The car came from Montana. It was a nice, fresh 44 that didn't have a lot of rust, and of course it's been completely gone through.
When these attendees weren't cruising, they were hunting down those hard-to-find parts at the swap meet. Some people took a quick trip down memory lane looking at the photos for sale.
I'm loving these old pictures. Guys I hadn't heard of or thought about for years.
While still others were searching for a certain magazine with a rare race report.
I attended this meet, and I know that I don't have any stats on it or anything about the race. And there's a feature in it right in here that I was interested in, right there, at the now defunct Orange County International Raceway.
Not only were the visitors to this inaugural reunion treated to some great racing and beautiful cars, but also some good food. The barbecue banquet became a backdrop for some of the pioneers of racing to spend some time with the younger fans, telling them how it was done back in the good old days.
I was talking to a fella here today, and he said, man, I love the way you run down the street, down the strip. It's kind of, in and out like this here. I said, that wasn't on purpose. That's the way the car runs. But he said, you really put on a show. We used to smoke them from starting line all the way through the quarterback in them days, and then they come up with the slipper clutches, and they don't do that anymore.
When we were building the cars, we had to build our own front axles, we built our own wheels, build our own rear axles, build everything. And this was in the late 50s and the early 60s when really you just did it figuring it out. There was no engineering involved, like there is right now.
All in all, it was a mixed bag of fun for everyone. But if it's hot rods you want, it's hot rods we've got here at the reunion in Bakersfield, including maybe the largest assemblage ever of famous race cars from the 60s and 70s. And they didn't just sit around looking pretty. A lot of them made exhibition runs and had this crowd cheering as if time had stood still.
Years of training and dedication.
Welcome back to the California Hot Rod Reunion. Well, let's see. So far, we have shown you vintage race cars, vintage hot rods, vintage people, but there's a lot more to this Woodstock of drag racing. A whole lot more. Have a look. Attendees were treated to racers and cars that haven't been seen on the track in decades. Legendary racers and cars like the Glass Slipper, the Hustler, Dick Landy's Dodge Dart, and Dino Don Nicholson with his 62 Chevy.
Got this copy of my 62 409 car, and of course we've got 1,000 horsepower in it now, 1,000 plus, and as long as I feel like driving, I feel like I'll drive. I feel good in the car still, and my reactions are good still. So it's something I've done all my life, and something I want to do.
For Tom Larkin, who raced this dragster in the early 70s, finding his mount for the reunion took him to a barn near Watsonville, California.
When they opened the doors, it was covered with a tarp, and it was buried in about 3 feet of hay, and they rolled it out of the barn and washed it off, and literally every decal, everything is just perfect. I guess the hay just preserved this car, and they've been sitting for 20 years, and this is the way that it is today. The people are just so amazed at, how we restored this car, and I say we really didn't. This is the way every decal and everything is just perfect that it was, and seeing so many friends and so many people that saw this car race. So we're having a great time out here.
But for the others, it took a lot more work to get their cars back into racing condition.
It was about a 6-year undertaking. I've been working on this for the past 6 years, trying to get it back in the shape that it was in when we ran it. And there's really been no major changes to it. It's just slight safety updates, things of that nature.
Early organized drag racing was conducted mainly by car clubs, and in Southern California, none were stronger than the Road King. I always wanted to be a member, actually. 1952, Burbank, California. Some of their alumni. How about Don the Snake Prudhomme, TV Tommy Ivo, Kenny Safford, this man Don Gady. It's still going strong.
Still going strong. A lot of street rod activities. We just celebrated our 40th anniversary with a giant car show in Burbank at the LA Equestrian Center.
Got some young guys now, though?
Oh, yeah. A lot of young guys coming in. Like I say, we have about 80 members that are pretty active now. All various aspects. We accept all kinds of cars. Nostalgia cars, street rods. We got Lakes people, Bonneville racers. You name it, we got it.
A lot of other clubs are represented here this weekend as well. Let's take a look.
The idea of Forever 4 is to preserve four-cylinder, Model A, Model B, Model C motors and speed equipment. We're the club that puts on the Antique Nationals. We put on the Bonnie and Clyde at Orange County. We put on the Bakersfield December meet for four-cylinders. We put on the meet in Colton for four-cylinders.
There's another club devoted to flathead Ford dragsters. Racing veteran John Bradley has acquired the name Mr. Flathead because he won't race anything else.
Overheads are like belly buttons. Everybody's got one of them. Now, not too many people can make a flathead run and run hard. I discovered how to do it 30-some-odd years ago, and I stuck with it because that's what I'm good at.
One club participates in top fuel racing. Butch Blair has the backing of the Lost Tribe Racing Club. And recently, the club's top fuelers set the lowest ET ever in Japan.
It lets people get involved who are racing enthusiasts that couldn't normally go on tour and be a genuine part of a top fuel racing operation. We travel all over the country, have a good time. Just got back from Japan and looking forward to a new year.
The Dust Devils Car Club of Inyoker in California operate NHRA's oldest drag strip. And David Layton, you're not an old guy, but you still like the old cars and the old ways.
You bet, Steve, because that's where my roots came up from. I was out there as a young kid way back in the 1960s, or being chased around by the dogs and cats and stuff, but chasing the big guys with the cars.
Well, you're having a good time out here, trying to promote your drag strip again.
Oh, definitely, because we've been out there for almost 40 years now. In fact, the Dust Devils are starting to plan their 40-year reunion for the drag strip out there sometime in late 1994.
Bob Beezer, who was a fixture at early NHRA national events with his anti-rain dance, traveled all the way from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, to be at the reunion.
We had a drag strip in Deseronto, Ontario, Canada. It was in the middle of an Indian reserve. And every time we came down to go to Pomona, they used to say, "Here come those Indians again." All right, so we thought, well, if they're going to say, "Here come the Indians," well, we might as well just dress the part. I used to do the rain dance and an anti-rain dance, not a rain dance. It was anti-rain dance so that to keep the rain away, and I did it for 7 years.
Chief Bob did his job well as he kept the rain clouds away throughout the weekend. The National Hot Rod Association has purchased the Atlanta Dragway in Commerce, Georgia. The terms of the deal were not disclosed. The track, located 60 miles northeast of Atlanta, will host the 13th annual Fram Southern Nationals in April. The state-of-the-art facility has become an integral part of NHRA Division II sportsman activities in the past, and that will continue to be a major focus in the future. The former owners, which included pro stock driver Gary Brown, have all decided to work on new endeavors. Brown will not walk away from the sport. Instead, this will give him more time to devote to competing in all 18 national events on the 1993 schedule. The Atlanta track brings the total number to 5 motorsports facilities owned by the sanctioning body. You know, when you get people together for an event of this type, it's only natural that we take time out to pay special recognition to some of the people who contributed so much to the growth of this great sport. The NHRA honored 5 people at this inaugural reunion with special awards for lifetime achievement. The first award was given to TV Tommy Ivo by reunion chairman Bernie Partridge.
TV used to race, he had 200 mile per hour. I think he was the first one to go 200 miles per hour. He used to race single engine cars, twin engine, got ridiculous after that. He ran 4-engine cars, and then he even got into a jet car. But he finally got sensible, and here he is. Here he is up on the stage. TV Tommy Ivo.
Round of applause, the fabled TV Tommy Ivo and his very special award. Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This is truly a Lifetime Achievement Award. It took me a lifetime to get one of these little devils, but I'm going to love it. Thank you.
The next award was presented by NHRA Vice President Steve Gibbs to Leland Cole.
Leland, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been great. Just seeing everybody here, it's just fantastic.
Takes you back a few years, doesn't it?
Oh, about 30. I'm loving it, and I hope everybody comes back again.
Dave McClelland had the honor of giving out the next award to Art Chrisman, who won the first event ever here at Bakersfield in 1959.
Thank you very much. I can't say enough about Wally and NHRA and all the things that they've done in the last 35, 40 years, whatever it is. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Another honoree was C.J. Pappy Hart, who started the first commercial drag strip in 1950.
It's been great. 40 years since 1950 that I've had association with him. And Wally Parks, particularly, and Steve and his crew, treat me like I was really important, which I know I'm not, but I do enjoy it. And I hope I'll be around another year or two.
The Grand Marshal for this first reunion was Ernie Hashem, and he too was honored for his lifetime commitment to the sport.
Oh, this is indeed an honor. So many good things happened to me here in '92. I can't hardly stand it, believe me. But really and truly, it's so great to see all of you here to this first California Hot Rod reunion. And honest to God, thank NHRA for these wonderful tracks that they've built all over the United States and given all of us a chance and a place to participate.
The last Lifetime Achievement Award went to Barbara and Wally Parks, founder of the NHRA. It was presented by the man who modeled for the most coveted statuette in motorsports, Jack Jones.
I'm so glad that this award recognized Barbara, because Barbara was there the day we formed NHRA, did a lot of the work, provided a lot of the guidelines, straightened me out on a lot of idiot ideas that I had, but somehow or another we all made it work. And I think we made it work because we've all been dedicated to what we believed in, and that was cars and the things that you can do through them and with them. I'm particularly proud here today that we put together a genuine hot rod family reunion. And that's exactly what this is. We're all here for the same ideas, the same ideals, and I can't tell you how pleased I am that this idea of Steve Gibbs has turned out the way it has.
Now let's take one final look at the sights and sounds of the first annual California Hot Rod Reunion. This is one of those rare shows where I'm actually glad we're out of time, because it gives me a chance to hitch a ride in an all-steel, all-real 1934 Ford Street Roadster. For all of us here at NHRA Today, I'm Steve Evans. Thanks for watching.
NHRA Today is a presentation of Diamond B Sports.